Hello everyone, my name is Nitik Sharma. I am the student of third year pursuing BTech with Computer Science in Government Engineering College, Jhalawad. I have done my summer training program or internship from Udemy. I have done internship on Web Development Masterclass, a complete course which you can find on Udemy site, which tells us how to design or make a website with virtual cloud servers and develop a database with it. So here is my presentation on my internship. Let's start. Now you can see on this slide the HTML, CSS and JavaScript. These are the three basic pillars on which every website stands. HTML contains the contents, text in a formatted manner, or we can say that this makes the structure of any website. CSS is used to style the text, CSS is used to style the contents and gives a website a good look. Now coming to JavaScript. JavaScript is a backend language. It deals with the functioning of website. That is how the website will work, how it behaves, etc. These all comes in JavaScript. So moving forward, here you can see that three layers of web designs. Here, making of a building compared with the website. HTML will make the structure, CSS will style or add colors on it, and JavaScript will add functioning or on our website. As the left is a function of this building, similarly the JavaScript will add all the functionality on our website. So what does HTML stands for? HTML stands for Hypertext Markup Language. Here is an example of Amazon Web Services. You can see that the Amazon page. Do you imagine how this page would look like without HTML? So here's the page of Amazon without HTML. Looks ugly, doesn't it? You can only get to see the text here. You cannot differentiate between the headings, the paragraph, the search box, the buttons, etc. Here you will only get to see the text. You cannot understand it as this is unformatted and unstructured text. So without HTML, web page will look like this. Without any markup to give your page content structure, the browser renders unformatted and unstyled text. HTML text gives structure and meaning to your content. With the HTML, we can now easily understand what does the web page and its contents want to tell us. We can understand it very easily as it have now become formatted. So some of the HTML tags you can see here, the PP stand to organize the paragraph, piece of paragraph. If we add any our content here, then it will come in the form of paragraph. Similarly, the table tag, it will display the table. It will convert our content in the form of table. The form tag to define form for user input. It will convert the content in the form in the form of this form. So here's another example, img for to add images. If we add the file name in between these tags in the form of jpg or png, then it will display it on our web page or website. So let's add HTML text to our page. How will it look now? Looks better, but still not good. So now you can see that with HTML you can now differentiate between the headings, the paragraphs, the subheadings, text box, check boxes, the buttons, and you can also see that your account and help has now come at the rightmost part. So now you can easily understand this web page. What does it want to tell us? We can now easily understand. So HTML will get our content in a structured way and formatted way and display it to us. Once page content is marked up with HTML text, the browser applies default styles to the text. So now page is readable and have a clear hierarchy. So now we can read the page with a good understanding. But what should we do to make the page look nice? Yes, the answer is CSS. Use of CSS. CSS stands for Cascading Style Sheet. Set of rules defining how an HTML element will be presented in the browser. So CSS uh, will help us to present our HTML content in the web browser in a styled manner with a good style. So here's the CSS rules. The P for paragraph, color red. It will change the color of P in red. So here you can see that the content now become in red color. The font style we can change. Here's an example which the content has now been changed in italic form. We can also add the borders on the content text. We can also change the font weight. The text has now become bold. Background color. So we can also change. We can also give the text the background color. Here you can see that it become now yellow. So here are some rules of CSS. Some things you can change with CSS: colors, spacing, font size, borders, backgrounds, and position. You can change all these things with the help of CSS and many more. You can search it on Google. Some things you can't change with CSS: content and markup. These two things can only be changed with the help of HTML, as HTML contains all the content and mark it up in a good format way. So HTML, with the help of HTML, we can change these two things, but CSS can't change these things, as CSS doesn't contains the content of our website. Only the HTML contains the content of our website. CSS can add some colors or style the text or contents, but it cannot change the content itself. So, so now it's time for styling. Let's add some CSS rules to our example page. How will it look now? Looks perfect. Now we can see that the Amazon image has now come. The text has become yellow. Now the button has been, the background color of this has become yellow. So now the web page with the CSS now looks perfect. So here's an example of web pages, of my web pages that I have made this. So web page comprises of three things: text plus HTML plus CSS. So HTML will help to format the text or mark up the text, and CSS will help us to style and format the HTML contents. So these all three things will make a web page. Now time for action. The JavaScript. JavaScript is not equals to Java. Java is to script as ham is to hamster. JavaScript is not equals to Java. JavaScript was not developed at Sun Microsystems, the home of Java. JavaScript was developed at Netscape in 1995. It was originally called LiveScript, but that name wasn't confusing enough. Java was the buzzword in the days when LiveScript was created, so LiveScript was renamed into JavaScript in the hope of catching the media's interest. But from confusion came misunderstandings. JavaScript is not a Java. It is not a light version of Java. It was not based on Java. It does not matter if you know Java. JavaScript is totally different language from Java. Classic JavaScript is a client-side language used to add interactivity to your web pages. In previous days, JavaScript is only used as a backend language for client-side. So as you can see, web page contains the JavaScript. JavaScript will add functions on the web page which will be shown in the web browser. So JavaScript will add the functions on the web page. It is a backend. It was a backend language. What we can do with JavaScript? Validate values entered in the form fields. So as we can see the example, if we entered our wrong email, then it will check with the database email which we have already saved. Then it will match the current email with the saved email, and if it mismatch, then it will show us some error, and if it doesn't, then it will take us to the next page. So these things we can do with the JavaScript. A search box can give you suggested results while you type based on what you have entered. A search box, we can also create a search box and suggestions with the JavaScript. load information automatically when it's needed. So as you have might seen some website or apps of news, uh, as you scroll down with the websites, the information will get automatically loaded. That will all can be done with the help of JavaScript. Create photo slideshow and control how long it takes to move from one image to the next and with what animation effect. We can add animation effect with the help of JavaScript, and we can also set the time, uh, how much time it will take to change the image. These all things we can do with the JavaScript and much more. At the beginning, JavaScript was designed to manipulate web pages, and it does that very well. But nowadays, its usage is become much wider. You can use it outside of web pages and the browser. JavaScript is now become very vast as Microsoft has launched some of its features like Node.js, React.js, which can be used to make web apps also. Now JavaScript is play a main role in the environment of programming. We can add we can make web apps with only the JavaScript. So JavaScript is now become very vast. You can search it on Google for more information. So thank you. This is all for my presentation on industrial training. Now I would like to show you my project which I have done during the time of my internship. So now let's go to that. So here I have started my Google Chrome, and I have already started my XAMPP server, Apache server and MySQL to start my localhost server. So let's type localhost and my website name. So here's my website. This is my project I have done during the time of my internship. So this is my personal website. Welcome to Nitik's website. I have made, or you can say a portfolio website for me. So I have already I have added a carousel on it, which will change the images with time. Automatically changes the images. Here I have added a new bar, home, about, and contact. The about to get in touch regarding the Nitik's academic work or contact. Nitik, email Nitik Sharma 31. So I have added my email in the about and some quotes here with a footer and a contact page, uh, which says an alert that it has now been connected to internet. So okay, this is a contact page. If anyone has to contact me, then he can write his email here, his name and his message. So on clicking the submit, it will the message will has been gone to the databases, which I can see when I will open it as an admin. So this is my that was my contact page, and this is home. I have made this a personal website. So the family, I have added my family members, my educational institute uh, that I have been studied till now, my skills, and my social networking links, Facebook, Instagram, etc. So that is from my side. I have done this during the time of my internship. So now I would like to stop my presentation. Thank you. Thank you so much.